Shrewsbury town lies within a loop of the River Severn, and I've done this ride many times. The ride starts at Frankwell, the main entrance to Shrewsbury from northwest Shropshire. The large building opposite is Theatre Severn, and further on is Frankwell Car Park, which frequently gets flooded. Turn right and you're going onto the Welsh Bridge. There's one arch for every letter in the word Welsh, and the bridge takes you on towards Shrewsbury town centre. The black and white building in the distance is Rowley's House and Museum, built in the 16th century by local wool merchant William Rowley. To the right is Victoria Quay, an area of bars and restaurants and cruises up and down the River Severn. The left turn at the end of the bridge takes you onto Mardol Quay, which then leads onto Smithfield Road. The riverbank on the left has an artwork called the Quantum Leap. It was put there to celebrate the bicentenary of the birth of Charles Darwin, the evolutionist. The other side of the road has accesses to the car parks for Shrewsbury shopping centres. Traffic usually flows along quite well along here, that is until you get to the traffic lights by the bus station, and these can prove quite a hold-up. When it's like this, you can sometimes wait for 3 or 4 phases of the lights before getting across the junction. It doesn't get any better when you get across the lights. You're still in a stationary queue, waiting for the traffic to get a move on at the next set of lights. Some traffic hops from lane to lane, but if you want to go through the town, you've just got to sit there and be patient. This area has recently been remodelled, with what seems to be the modern fad for repaving. Eventually, with some green lights, you come to the junction with what is known as Castle Gates. Opposite is the Gothic frontage of Shrewsbury Station, and to its right, Shrewsbury Castle and the Dana Walkway. The right turn takes you up Castle Gates, with on the right the library. In front of it is a statue to Charles Darwin. On the left is Castlegate's house and the entrance to Shrewsbury Castle. Some of Shrewsbury's many black and white buildings can be seen on this part of Castle Street. It's the start of the commercial area of the town, with shops, restaurants and cafes. Shrewsbury is a town that has its roots in medieval times, and Castle Street has no less than 10 buildings listed by Historic England. Castle Gates and Castle Street are in historic urban link, connecting the railway station directly to the heart of the town centre. It's a vibrant mix of independent businesses, residential dwellings and major landmarks. Going past the Park and Ride bus stops, you come to the top of Castle Street at High Cross, and in front of you is the pedestrianised Pride Hill. Into St Mary's Street, and St Mary's Church, now in the care of the church's conservation trusts, holds events, exhibitions, but is still consecrated and services are still held there. And on into Dogpole. There used to be a hole in the town walls here that people had to duck under to get through. Hence, Duck Hole morphed into Dogpole. On the left is the Old House, a substantial multi-period townhouse with 15th century origins. In front at the left turn is the Lion Hotel, a Grade 1 listed former 16th century coaching inn. Then it's down Weil Cop, Weil meaning hill, Cop meaning top, and another 39 listed buildings. At the bottom of Weil Cop, you're on the approach to English Bridge, and like the Welsh one, it has one arch for each letter in the word English. As you go over the bridge, the church is Shrewsbury United Reformed Church. The large building on the other side of the road is the former Wakeman School, now part of Shrewsbury Sixth Form College. Under the railway bridge, and we're into Abbey Foregate, with Shrewsbury Abbey right in front of us. The abbey was founded in 1083 as a Benedictine monastery by the Norman Earl of Shrewsbury, Roger de Montgomery. Abbey Foregate is an ancient thoroughfare, and some 75 of its buildings and structures are listed by Historic England. The black and white building on the right is the Dun Cow Public House. Continuing the drive up Abbey Foregate and looking at the buildings on either side of the road, it's more than obvious why so many of them are considered worthy of listing. Over the traffic lights, and the buildings become more of a mixture of the old and the new, but they seem to fit in together quite well. This is now the main route out of Shrewsbury town towards the M54 and the West Midlands. The dashcam hasn't got a wide enough angle to show the old Shire Hall, which is on the left at the top of the road. It's empty now, and English Heritage say it doesn't satisfy their post-1947 criteria to be listed. Anyway, the last item to be mentioned can now be seen in the distance. It's a 130-foot column with on the top a statue of Lord Rowland Hill, and he looks down Abbey Foregate, over the town of Shrewsbury and into Wales. Well, that's the end of the drive, and apologies to you Salopians for any mistakes.